Welcome back to the stream. I am once again Rainbow Sasha, and this time I'm joined by the lovely Sort of Flighting.
Hey, what's up, guys?
And we are going straight into picks and bans. By the way, these games are UIFD and First Blood Carry. So right now, again, picks and bans. Automatically, we have banned out people such as Thresh, which for me is a good ban because he just has so much to offer for team fights, and just late game with that AP scaling that he has. His box will hurt you in the face, so I'm happy to see that straight off the table gone, and Jinx following straight in that ban list. Very good AD carry, global ultimate with that rocket. Even close range, even long range, happy to see her completely out. As well as she is a good lockdown from chompers. Vi being completely knocked off the grid just as well. A good pusher, just a lot of lane presence, a lot to offer to team fights. And Nasus also being banned out straight down to the ground. No Q farming is going to be seen here. And no Anivia walls are going to be present either because she just got banned out. As well as Blinky Little Kassadin completely just thrown out of this tournament right now. And we are going straight into picks, straight from that. We do have an insta-lock on Taric coming out for DYFD here.
Actually, you said Taric, correct? I'm just making sure I heard a Taric there.
You did hear it, Taric.
Man, I haven't heard or seen a Taric in forever. I love Taric as support. He's great, very tanky, especially with his W. He has a nice stun. Nice, I believe his ult brings mobility and also attack damage and extra AP. It does a decent amount of damage. Like, he is a great support to bring into the mix.
And in response, we do have the Renekton and Zinza being completely locked in. So that could be a support Xin, that could be a jungle Xin, that could be a top Xin, as well as Renekton, just probably that top lane because that's where he has so much bullying presence. And Wukong being picked up, something that I'm happy to see. I love seeing him in team fights. I'm happy to see him being picked up recently in LCS matches, as well as just in these tournaments as well. And we might have a potential lock-in for Varus, an AD carry we never get to see anymore. I like to think it's because he has very, very situational and odd builds that he can do, but I just feel he has an early level advantage with those the Q procs from Blight with that piercing arrow. But after that, he doesn't seem to offer much. But just as well an MF being picked up. Stuff we don't see every day is what these team comps are made of right now, because MF, again, another champion we don't see every day, currently actually might be getting a small simple rework, something I'm happy to see.
I heard the same thing about Ashe as well, actually, well, on reworks. I heard she is getting a new skin for Valentine's Day, and she is also getting a rework, actually.
Well, she's just getting one ability rework compared to MF, who might get an entire kit arrangement. But I'm happy to see this because MF it used to be a really good carry, and then she just kind of fell off the grid with the new iteration of carries just being very strong. She doesn't fall into that. Whoa, okay. So Sivir just got locked in as well.
Interesting indeed. I actually don't know really what to say to that in response. It's a very interesting pick, I would say. Not too much to say.
So I'm actually very, very shocked about this because there's two AD carries in a game. So there just might be a double AD carry bot lane going straight for kills, going straight for pushing, going for just that physical damage straight out off the bat. Heavy pushing lane might take the game. No idea, but it's not something we get to see every day. It could also be an AD carry bot as well as an AD carry mid, going back to that like season 1 kind of thing, where
Season
like
2 actually as well.
Well,
of the
more
AP
so
casters,
season
right?
1. More so season 1 where there were just it's where AD carries ruled the game, where AD carries were that solo mid lane. All by themselves. It used to be the Ashe in the mid lane, but in return, DYFD picking up onto Yorick, another champion we don't see in a while, and Orianna, someone we haven't seen played since around finals last year. She was a very, very heavy hitter, and we did just have a disconnect. Someone
I wonder if
left the
that's what they
game.
had. It's either somebody's internet might have gone. We will get straight on that, I believe. But until then, have you seen any of the LCX or LCS action in Europe or NA recently, Sasha?
Yes, I watch it like every day of my life, and
I remember we're also talking about Challenger Series and how teams are beginning to rise from the ashes. LMQ, one of them coming from China, trying to get into the NA scene, as well as I don't know if any of you guys watched the Tournament Gaming game against Academy. They also dominated and are favorites in the Challenger Series. Sasha, what do you think about the Challenger Series, or do you not really watch it that much?
I've been watching it bit by bit, and I think I more so have been watching the EU, and they have a lot of unique things that they like to pull out. So far we have the same picks and bans. Actually, it should be the same picks and bans.
Until that last spot, which is right there.
Yeah, I believe it's supposed to have the same picks and bans as last game, but so far I see a Morgana being pulled out. So I'm not sure if any of the mods want to come in and step in and say anything, but hopefully you do, because I don't know about this. So far they have locked in Xin and Morgana.
That is very interesting, especially since the disconnect did come from Purple side, if I am not mistaken, which is
It did.
kind of interesting. I don't know what's happening there, but hopefully mods may possibly explain to us, or they might get right on top of that. I'm sure we'll see what happens actually. Other than that, like you were saying,
Yeah, this is very, very odd because they don't have half the champs that they picked last time. They did just lock in MF, and they also have locked in LeBlanc.
yeah, I believe something is kind of fishy there. That is actually no. I smell something funny here. Something
So I
interesting. Lol, cheaters, they are cheaters.
So I'm gonna wait for the last pick to come out because the last pick should be Sivir if this is correct, and if they are keeping up with their last picks and pick order may have just got thrown out of balance. LeBlanc wasn't able to be locked in last time because we did have the disconnect. But yes, they are picking different champions. We do not have the Sivir here, and instead we have the Morgana, so I'm not sure if someone wants to do something about that.
We will see what happens, I guess, then with that, but I see in chat actually Sivir with a leg pick, apparently. That's what it says in chat right here. And that is from LeBlanc actually saying that. And then
yeah, and the Fizz is also a different pick as well. If I do recall, it was Orianna before, so we do need to go back, kill the game or something, because both teams have now picked different champions.
Yeah, I believe we should call it off just for a little bit. I do not know what's happening here. Maybe it was technical difficulties on both sides, or I'm actually not sure, but we will get to the bottom of this, guys. Until they've been liking the tournament, been loving it, liking it, hating it.
Yeah, so I really don't know what to say here.
I I am the same on you with this one, but since it seems like we're still going on with the game, uh, what do you think of the team comp, Sasha?
I like the team comps the way they were before, with the Orianna pick coming out for them instead. But apparently we are being told to let it ride. I have no idea what's going on. As of
I
right now, we are having admins talk to them as we speak. But this is, I do like the way Orianna was before.
well, actually, just to quickly notice, we do see that it is obviously a Morgana support. And we also see that Taric picked up heal instead of maybe exhaust or ignite. Going back to, I believe it's those season 2 or season 1 kind of strats where it's you use heal instead of ignite and exhaust because heal gives you more health maybe for that engage or something. Or like a giant team fight erupts and you need a little bit more health. There's where the heal comes in. Very typical though. Wukong. Uh, I remember that I think the first person that tried it out was Night Blue, and Night Blue loved it. He started a trend, and I don't know, it just started off launching off ever since then. I know that the shoutcasters from LCS have been actually talking a lot about that as well.
So I'm not sure if the game is being played. We might go in and it might automatically be a pause, but we are hitting the delay right now, going straight in pretty soon.
Hmm. Uh, I don't really see Xin Zhao in the jungle actually much, a lot much. Usually I see maybe I don't know. I'm trying to think of. I've seen Lee Sin actually be played a lot by the Meteos actually, and also Broken Shards last night, as well as I believe Nightblue's been playing a bit of Lee Sin as well. So Lee Sin's been up there.
He's actually been playing the Kha'Zix a lot, which is something I enjoy him playing because Kha'Zix is not a champion that I necessarily will play, or necessarily care about. But overall to me, he's a very, very unique champion. And Nightblue has just been kind of taking faces and souls and all other kind of body parts and hoarding them into his little bug nest with Kha'Zix so far. So he's doing really well with him.
And I also kind of know from what actually he's been saying on the stream, Kha'Zix is more like a solo queue kind of thing, but he also dominates in LCS as well. We've seen him be played a little bit in LCS, I find. Again, he was played in the challenger scene with Broken Shards last night, and Broken Shards was incredible with him. I believe he finished off 12-4 last night as Kha'Zix during their second win against Curse Academy. It's pretty amazing how, like, if you get to the late game with Kha'Zix, how much burst he can do and how much damage he can bring to team fights, especially since he has his ult to stealth and stealthily get around, and he's able to just go to the back line and do a lot of damage and usually probably delete the AD carry. We also see a Skid War going down actually right now.
Yeah, we do. We have a pool party reenacting Prestigious LeBlanc, Secret Agent Miss Fortune, and Warring Kingdom Xin Zhao, as well as an Arclight Varus.
Well, it looks like Pro Team won the Skin War. Just saying out of this, Pool Party Renekton skin, I would have to say is one of my favorite skins, even though we are in the Lunar Reveal right now, and Warring King's Xin Zhao, or Kingdom's Xin Zhao is a Lunar skin. I do love Renekton. I have a soft spot for him in my heart, and I love the recall animation on Pool Party Renekton. It's just so cool.
Very, very true indeed. It's kind of hilarious because he gets up on his little chair and people will sit there and spam his back because of that.
Yeah, no. What do you think about actually the on top of that the Yorick pick? I haven't seen Yorick be played a lot at all, actually. Or touch even by pro players, I would say.
I feel like he's fairly good. I've seen Dyrus stream recently with him when he was going on his Rengar rampage. So I don't feel like it's a bad champion. I feel like it's a clutch situation where he's useful. His ult's going to come in handy for these team fights nonetheless. But I cannot wait to see these team fights because LeBlanc is just going to her damage that she does to people and just go a little bit of that full ham mode, and I can't wait for that.
Yeah, and sorry if I butcher his name. I've been trying to practice his name. Rickson has been playing him a lot in the LCS kind of right there in NA, and I think his first game he played LeBlanc, and he just dominated, I believe, Big Natossa was. And we also seen a few other people try it out. We saw High tried out one time against, who was it now? I think who they played against, yesterday. I can't remember exactly, but we saw him play LeBlanc, and he did fairly well as LeBlanc, who was not that bad.
But we are in the game. We have basic starts coming up, both top laners kind of just in the areas. Renekton actually being a useful little ward here, making sure that no one comes for the red buff side. Willow Blanc also in a very, very kind of defensive position, making sure no one's coming over for the blue buff from the enemy right now. But it looks like they're just going to be basic starts.
Yep, we see Renekton placing a ward down by that red buff bush area on the top, and we just, like you're saying, standard starts. Nothing very too interesting happening. We see a leash going down by both people actually, and seen recently, surprisingly, no leashes actually in a lot of kind of high elo games and even some low elo games. I guess it's just because they want to get into lane faster and just have higher experience.
And so far, in this game, as of right now, Renekton's been very heavy hitting onto and doing lots of damage to Yorick actually as just pandering top right now. And just basic starts happening. Everything's pretty safe right now, but we do a flash coming out from Yorick. Very, very weird. Morgana landing some pretty amazing binds also here in this bot lane, and Fizz and LeBlanc are going at it pretty well.
Yeah,
and Tarik just getting halved in health right now.
That is not the LeBlanc. That is the Misfortune early damage. Misfortune used to get picked a lot in solo queue, and even I think I know Chaos played her a bit, and Robert Exley did, as well as AmaCutiePie, because she has such, like I was saying, burst early. She's able to almost, like you saw right there with Tarik, half health them so early on. It's because her double up ability is
but we might have Xin Zhao coming in here in this situation, coming with a flash, but the red buff is not going to tick away as much as hoped. So a really, really weird situation that Blue Ninja here walked into. He kind of just like flashed for a gap closer, but wasn't able to pull anything off. So a gank that was completely not worth, because now he's going to be sitting there flashless and might get picked out of the jungle by Wukong. So he's going to have to be very, very passive about how he jungles and ganks from now on.
Yeah, and we also see Renekton going back. Renekton was pretty low in that engage. It was like, hey dude, I kind of want to go in with you, but I kind of can't. On top of that, unless you get that knock up, I can't really commit because I'm so low. Yorick can just turn on me and possibly do a lot of damage to me. And I can't risk being first blood because then Yorick will have quite a bit of an advantage. But we see Renekton picking up boots and a sight.
But in this mid lane, Xin Zhao's actually coming in. Good damage actually being dealt. LeBlanc coming in, not able to do much here, but they are going to be picking up first blood. Good job, Xin Zhao. even without needing to do your flash. And a good play coming out for First Blood carry here. Actually picking up First Blood. The name is correct.
Actually point out there, Fizz burned both his summoners. He was hoping to try to get LeBlanc for First Blood, but instead Wukong was a little too low, and Xin Zhao was right beside him, and I'm pretty sure his next attack was knock up. So Xin Zhao was able to knock up Fizz, and Fizz wasn't able to do enough damage to LeBlanc, and that's when LeBlanc was able to get, or not even LeBlanc, because Xin Zhao was able to get First Blood on Fizz, and LeBlanc a little bit ahead of Fizz right there.
But just some nice damage also coming out on this bot lane. Basically tit for tat, stun for snare, and auto for auto coming out from both the AD carries. Just good damage. Ooh, and the binding actually missing that time around.
I'm very actually. Ooh, we see Renekton going a little aggro on Yorick there. Yorick obviously with his E being able to kind of heal it up. Also with his passive when ghouls are out, he is a little bit more tankier and deals a little bit more damage. So it's going to be kind of hard for Renekton to be really aggressive as he usually is in lane. It's going to be, I believe...
Ooh, but he is doing damage, and pings are coming out for bot lane. A good spell shield being used, actually keeping Miss Fortune alive just little by little. Ooh, and the piercing arrow not being able to finish her off. Had it been angled just a little bit better, that would have been a kill for them.
Indeed. That was nice communication by Blue Team there. Wukong being able to go down for the gank. Purple Team not having a ward in the river to see the gank even coming. So Wukong, all he had to do was stealth in, go for the Nimbus Strike, do a little bit of damage, while Varus and Taric go in. Dazzle being able to keep him CC'd, or Misfortune, sorry, CC'd for a while. And almost coming out with a kill, as you were saying.
Ooh, but Renekton this top lane being ignited, putting Ignite onto Yorick, and Yorick just beating him to shreds. A good pickup, putting them 1-for-1 in kills.
Yeah, again, as I was saying, it's that Yorick has those ghouls at his disposal, and they do quite a lot. Like, you might not think, oh, at first, they don't really do that much, but if he EWs at least, there's a slow on you, you're getting lifesteal, and Yorick's more tanky and does a little bit more damage on top of that. We also see that he got a tier, and he's just trying to stack up that tier as much as he can for that mana more. And he just choked down his last mana potion, so he might be going back possibly after he pushes the wave out.
But good damage still in this bot lane. Shatter actually not hitting on an MF here. Xin Zhao possibly answering what is a needed gank, but in this top lane, Renekton and Yorick are fighting yet again. A good, almost even trade coming out.
Yeah. Actually, just saying, really want to see down towards bot lane is maybe a Fizz gank, a Fizz roam, as well as a Wukong gank, because the amount of CC they will have will be quite incredible, because you have Fizz's ult, which slows on contact, as well as a knockup. You have the Dazzle by Taric, which is a stun. You have Varus' ult, which is a snare. You have Wukong's ult, which is a knockup. It's a lot of CC, and the only way they can answer that is almost pretty much with a Morgana snare and a Morgana ult. But they could always shift their focus on Morgana, and Morgana could get instantly mowed down, especially since her exhaust is still on cooldown.
Exactly, a very good point, but so far it looks like Wukong is just going to look for gaining those levels to hit that level 7 and that level 8 in the jungle. As well as Xin Zhao, he might be coming for a gank top, but the last time he ganked for this lane, it didn't necessarily go in his favor, but hopefully with the ultimate now, he'll be able to do a lot more, but Renekton actually double dashing away into safety.
Yeah, I kind of think Renekton is a little low, and he's starting to kind of struggle with the lane as well. We do see, because usually I see with most Renektons, they kind of try to go for that Ravenous Hydra first, and instead of maybe Chain Vest or a Giant's Boat, but instead he goes with the Chain Vest. He doesn't feel confident in the lane, so he doesn't want that extra damage because he's not dominating as hard as he is, and Yorick's using it to his advantage. Since Renekton is scared, he's just slow pushing the lane, and we see gank coming in.
Oh, but he is going to come in and gank this. Cyclone is out, Renekton is going to be ulting, and Xin Zhao looks like he might be able to catch something, but Ghostland in mid picks up onto Fizz. Fizz fairly low, but now we have a very, almost very dead, going to be very dead Yorick, not being able to do much there, and they're not going to dive on this Wukong, but they are possibly going to get a lot of aggravation onto this tower. A good trade coming here, leaving the score to be 1-3 at the 10-minute 30-second mark.
Actually, quickly looking at how Fizz died there, what happened there was LeBlanc saw that Fizz just overstepped a little bit. She saw he was about to go in since he activated his W, and she just saw the opportunity and she dashed towards him, ulted, dashed again, flashed his. She flashed somewhere for that reason, maybe just to make it look kind of cool, and then
ooh, but in this bot lane, a lot of damage going off, and actually a barrier being blown by Misfortune. I don't know what she's really thinking there, because she was just at almost entirely full health when she did that. It's pretty weird, but
she wants that full health, that's why.
It could be really true, but she can farm a little bit of it back, but she is fighting against someone who does have that best friend sword. But oh my gosh, here comes the gank that you were mentioning before with the Fizz coming down, but they do have a ward this time.
Right by Dragon area. So that was a nice ward placement. I don't even think blue team might check that, and we see LeBlanc might go to face check towards Fizz, but she's not. She's just gonna put a ward and back out.
And Fizz pinged out that ward because he saw it as he was coming up, so that means if any ganks are going to come out, they're not going to come out from that side now. They're going to come from the opposite side because that is now the better side to gank from, but he is actually just going to come up and around on this, making his presence known in the mid lane. But LeBlanc is now just 2 levels ahead of Fizz, not a position you want to be in considering LeBlanc's amount of burst she can do per level, and how hard she can hit with that magic is just going to be devastating. Half-healthing him with one small combo.
Yeah, also looking at the top lane, we do see that Renekton's kind of struggling here. Renekton is known as that early aggressive top laner that is very hard to lane against.
But LeBlanc coming in, actually picking up on onto that Fizz, and is going to be using the ult to blink away. A really good trade here, but we do have Blue Ninja in this top lane, hitting onto Yorick, and actually taking a lot of damage in return for it. And he's just going to be able to free farm up that Tear of the Goddess right now, going for that Muramana.
Yeah, ooh, we see a lot of damage going down from LeBlanc. Source Shoes getting picked up. Not maximum penetration, but there is a little bit of magic penetration there. And that penetration will kind of hurt because she already does do a little bit of magic damage. So,
oh, but we do have Xin Zhao going on, does use the ultimate, but he is going to be picked up by Yorick. But now we have Renekton coming in with the ultimate. Ignite is taking down on him, and Renekton is not in the speediest position to come into him. A dash is needed. Please, but it's going to be completely wasted there. Yorick escaping.
Just a sliver of hope. I think that Xin Zhao actually engaged a little too early there. He kind of just went in and I knew he was trying to plan something with Renekton, but like I said before, a little too early. Xin Zhao jumped the gun a little bit, and we see a little bit of pings going down towards blue side. Wukong possibly looking for
and MF actually using I was gonna mention MF is using good aggression because she cannot with her range reach onto Varus right now. She's making sure to be really aggressive onto Taric, which is good because that means if a gank does come down, he's in a very vulnerable position where he cannot fully be in the gank if either one of the junglers does come down, which is good.
Yeah. Just really quickly recap of mid lane. Fizz used Trem of the Waters while Wukong went in. Wukong did not go in stealth, so it was kind of like an awkward gank where there's no minions or anything, and Fizz kind of moved up, so LeBlanc smelt something coming, especially when the Wukong just walked into lane without his decoy. So
well, but in the top lane, I apologize, there's yet another fight going on between the warring zone of Yorick and Renekton, and hopefully there gets to be something here, but we do have the ult being used here, and Fizz is actually coming in, picks up the kill. Morgana possibly get a binding off, but the heal is coming out from Taric, and they are going to survive that. In that fight, Varus had come in with a beautiful chain of corruption and landed it right on her. Morgana shielding just too late, but we do have LeBlanc coming in at perfect intervals, picking up kills here, and we do have a very, very low Varus now. She's going to come in, she's going to miss the chains. Barrier being used, though. Ooh.
Again, that LeBlanc burst.
But in the top lane, they are going to be going on to Yorick yet again. The ult being used by Xin Zhao. They are going to both be flashing for this. And we need a Renekton dash to come in on this. Hopefully something soon. But right now, Xin Zhao getting a good jump there with the knockup. That is going to be Renekton picking up the kill. A good trade, leaving the game now at 3-6.
I kind of agree. Like, I don't really agree it was a good trade, actually. 2 summoners wasted there.
Oh, Chum of the Water onto the block as well as Ignite. She is going to be popping her passive here and blinking away, but Ignite is still on her, and she is just barely safe. Hitting the chains here, we do have a snare coming off, and that is going to be a very, very dry-landed Fizz not being able to pick up on LeBlanc.
Oh, it's okay, Fizz. Don't worry, buddy. You got her next time. But LeBlanc is worth quite a lot of gold. She would be a nice pick up there. We do see a disconnect. I do not know if there's going to be a pause, and there is going to be a pause briefly. But quickly looking at reconnected. I'm going to still say, looking at items here, we do see that Yorick did pick up his Manamore. I do not currently know what it's stacked at. It says here 312 mana, and he also picked up Ninja Tabi with a Clarity, which is to give him extra movement speed. So I'm guessing he wants a little bit more armor against Renekton, blocking 10% of his damage from basic attacks, which is for pretty much trades. I believe that also applies for his stun. If I'm not mistaken, it reduces a little bit of damage taken from his stun. And then we see Renekton building his Sunfire Cape finally. Building possibly towards that Ravenous Hydra. We do see that Wukong picked up a Spirit of the Elder Lizard instead of a Spirit of the Ancient Golem like Xin Zhao did. I believe it's for a little bit more damage. We see Fizz picking up towards a he's picking up towards an Abyssal Scepter here, and we see LeBlanc actually going towards a Rod of Ages instead of possibly maybe a Rabadon's or something, but then again, she is doing quite a lot of magic damage, so I believe the Rod of Ages more for that later.
Oh, we have a gang coming in, and he is going to come in with the Cyclone, a perfect pickup, Chunky Toe taking the kill, but now we are on now to Yorick, and Yorick is a very, very dead man at this point, so that was a 1-for-1 engage, now a 1-for-2 actually, as we did just have Varus completely just tank that tower, say YOLO to the entire fight, and this is going to be bottom tower falling. So the second tower of the game, 1-for-1 in towers at this point, a very, very good play in that situation.
Yeah, no one was there bot lane except I believe it was Morgana, and Morgana was able to just go down very fast because of the Wukong knockup, because of his Nimbus Strike, and also because of Varus. He did not even burn his ult during that fight. Actually, see Renekton pushing down that top turret, trying to before Yorick comes up to stop him as well. And Dragon actually trying to get picked up towards the purple side. We see it warded by blue team. We do not know if they're going to try something. We see Fizz and Taric going in.
Ooh, but LeBlanc, ooh, she is doing the damage right now. Fizz actually picking up on a Xin Zhao, and the dragon is still alive, but we do have a very, very low Taric, and he is going to be picked up by that. Oh, and oh my gosh, LeBlanc, as I mentioned before, being able to pick up these kills, a good set of assists.
That was really close. Varus did actually burn his ult there to try to save Fizz, but it wasn't enough,
Ooh.
sadly.
But this is going to be a risky situation because Wukong can go over that wall, and he does have Smite up, and it looks like blue team actually is going to be picking up with that Smite, as mentioned before. And, ooh, the chains are going to be missing, but the binding is on. He does come out with the Cyclone from the ult. York doing a good job, so he's right back in the fight. Renekton having a fight too right now, and Morgana is going to be falling to York. Nonetheless, Renekton is on an eastbound and down train to death right now, and that's just going to be a very bad trade. 3 for 1, not exactly what you need at this point in the game. 9 and 10 bringing up the kills, and at least another set of gold lead for 2K going to DYFD at this point.
Actually, nice Dragon Steel from, they're grouping up mid trying to go for
and they're going to be going straight on to LeBlanc. Her passive is down right now, so she is kind of, and she actually does pick up a kill instead, and Xin Zhao is hitting onto this. He's still just barely alive, and Yorick comes in for the steal, not giving it any which way to that Fizz at all. But we do have MF coming on. Yorick is not going to be slowed by that make it rain at all.
Yeah, we do see more gold going towards blue side here. That LeBlanc shutdown gold, I would say it is worth the death, especially since Taric is 0-3. He did do what most supports do. He's like, guys, I don't mind sacrificing. I really do believe we need to shut down this LeBlanc, and they did, and it went towards the Fizz, which I would say is great, because Fizz does need that gold for sure, and we do see he picks up that Abyssal Scepter. He does pick up Sorcerer's Shoes, and it looks like he might be building towards a Wood Staff right now.
Yeah, so it probably is going to be that Void Staff, because that's what you really want as that AP carry. You want to have the ability to just go through anybody's magic resist at all. And we do have Xin Zhao coming around to this tower, goes for the flash. I don't understand his need to flash at every given second of this game. It feels like it's bad play, because he's not saving it for situations where it's needed. He's saving it for situations where it's really weak-willed and just waste it completely. This is about the 3rd time he's done flashes such as these. Might go for a counter push mid now, because they do have 4 champions there compared to the 3 right now, and it's just an easy lane for them to take. So that is a good tower pickup by them. And Yorick actually having to contend with top, because Renekton keeps going for the push onto that tower. It's about at half health at this point, but everyone is coming to circulate towards this mid.
I believe there's going to be a team fight going down. So how do you think this team fight's going down? I think it's going to be Varus ult into Fizz ult, into Wukong ult, but Taric ults before all of that, and then we have Yorick ulting possibly maybe whoever gets caught out to do a little bit more damage.
And an arrow taking MF down to like half, at least 75 health at this point in time. And she doesn't have the Bloodthirster completed yet, so she's just gonna keep being chunked less and less. These are situations where you wish you had like a Nami or Ursona or Soraka as your support, because Morgana, well, it's nice to have a shield that blocks amount of incoming damage as well as CC. At this point in time, it's not necessarily that good.
Also, on top of that, if we actually look at the farm difference between both AD carries, we see Miss Fortune only has 114 to Varus is 177. So I don't know like what happened there. Maybe Miss Fortune was possibly pushing the wave too hard. Varus has a nice wave clear with all his abilities, I would say. But I don't know. Maybe it's pushing the tower, being very aggressive towards that bot lane was a little bit not in their purple team's advantage, because we see that Varus does have 182 farm. He has 2 kills and 4 assists. We see he's finished his Berserker Grease. He's done his Bloodthirster, and it looks like he's almost done his Infinity Edge. I believe if he were to go back right now, he could possibly finish it, actually. Actually, that's a lot action shot right now.
And just right now, these it's very, very standstillish at this moment because everyone's trying to bait for mid, and they're all mid except for Renekton, who keeps pushing top, and then Yorick goes and then gets a bunch of free farm. But Renekton currently in lead of farm, which is good, and he's possibly going for some damage out pretty soon, which will be exciting to see.
Yes, especially since Ravenous Hydra is very good, and they're looking to possibly cut off Renekton here. Does ward it, and we see a lot of blue pings going down. It looks like Renekton's gonna be able to
but we do have a Wukong coming in with the Cyclone, a good chunk of Chain of Corruption coming out, but MF ulting a bit too late here. Ooh, and I don't know what Morgana was doing, but she went in with an, had the Fizzle onto her and just went back into the fight. Ignite is now onto Fizz here, and he's in a very, very low position, and Yorick actually going to be dropping here, but dropping MF as he goes. A very, very good trigger to Ignite here. So a 1-4-3 fight here with LeBlanc just barely surviving.
Yeah, that was a little bit back and forth. We saw a lot of flashes burn there. LeBlanc is very slippery, sorry, my apologies guys, in that sort of case, because she has a snare, she has 2 jumps if you count her jump, plus her ult being able to repeat the ability, and she had flash, so she was able to get out of there quick. We also have Morgana snare on top of that. Renekton came in, I find, possibly in that fight a little bit too late, because Renekton, I find, has to kind of be the guy that goes right into the fight, and he just goes in and zones the crap out of everybody. And it's like, hey, no, you're supposed to go after the big alligator with the giant ass blade in his hand, 10 times your size, not my entire team that does all the damage. You're supposed to go for me. So, but he went in later on, being able to kind of blue team away from LeBlanc and Miss Fortune. Sadly, Miss Fortune did die from Yorick's Ignite and constant poke, but Yorick was able to also get picked off by Charmer. So, very nicely played by both teams.
But yeah, team fight, I would say, went almost exactly as I planned it. There was no Terrical in that. I didn't see a Terrical. I was kind of disappointed. Or Yorick, actually, in that case.
Sorry, I had annoying people knocking at my door. As of right now, we are getting into a situation where it's just kind of a hover over mid, which isn't the position you want to be in, but right now, on the edge, it's going to be the blue team because they are missing that first tower compared to the purple side right now. It's going to be a bit weird. But we do have Renekton actually being chunked at less than half health at this point in time. Yorick just proving to be such a terror. Has the those nice little Iceborne Gauntlets as well as the Manamune, and is just building it up to that Muramana at a certain point. Is just proving to be a dangerous foe at this point.
Yeah, we see blue team actually kind of going down towards Dragon. We see purple team does have wards towards that side. Blue team top lane actually also pushing out from minions. Same with towards bot lane. Purple minions are pushing out, and we see collision towards Dragon fight.
Oh, but we do have this dragon fight coming out perfectly done. A good Chain of Corruption hitting about 3 people here, locking Xin Zhao in place. Chunky is going to be picking up onto Xin Zhao as well as MF, so just taking away their entire front line, which is basically their team at this point. And a good chunk of killing spree. LeBlanc falling. This is going to be their mid tower. Renekton can't contest because right now he only has the Hydra. He only has that Sunfire Cape. They're going to pick up a free dragon out of this entirely, as well as all the assist and gold they just popped from that entire team fight. Just Yorick. That's all I can say at this point because he's offering so much to the team, all the damage, all the CC with that Iceborne Gauntlet just proves to be a dangerous foe, as I mentioned before. And right now, they can't do anything about that.
Exactly. We also, like you were saying before, that was a nice ult by Varus there. Varus hit 3 people with his ult there. Then we had Wukong just go in and ult and be like, nope guys, I'm just gonna knock you guys up in the air. You guys aren't gonna be able to touch anybody. LeBlanc wasn't even able to get any damage down during that. She was focused so much by Yorick and Wukong kind of. And then Wukong went off to try to kill Lee Sin and Miss Fortune, I believe. And Fizz was focusing LeBlanc on top of that. Fizz just went in. He's like, "Okay, I'm gonna get my revenge on LeBlanc. Time to go kill LeBlanc now."
I'm pretty sure you meant that he was going in on Zinzao because having 6 champions on one team would be pretty OP. But yeah, no, he went for that Zinzao, got the Zinzao just as well, so just proving to be a decent champion at this point. But LeBlanc coming in does get the snare down, picking up the shutdown gold, so that's good. That's 432 extra gold as well as assist gold going to Zinzao. Morgana not picking up much of anything, and she's going more for the AP support instead of going for in this situation what I think would be a better utility support, because you want those shields, you want Aegis. Ooh, and they are going at a little aggressive onto everyone here. LeBlanc going and zoning right onto a lot of people now, and she's actually going to be going and getting that snare onto that onto Wukong here, and ooh, my bad. Varus actually being picked up, as well as picking up onto Morgana. Morgana just, again, proving to be a very fall-off the ship, but they are coming back. They are trying to get targets right now, and a good snare being used. Will she be able to pick up onto Taric here? She does have the damage at this point, and she does pick it up, but we do have
Ooh, nice.
A nice little shark picking up onto Zinzao here. Not just a good situation, but they do want to push this tower because they'd rather have the objectives for that map, for just being able to shove the entire map in this mid lane, which you don't necessarily need kills to win, but this is their solution for making up for not having this. But a good snare actually being used on, decent damage being dealt, and she is going to go for the blink, steps back. Bad situation. Fizz could have came in and just devastated her entire kill streak right now. She is currently 8-2. A good spot to be in, actually, as LeBlanc at this point. But the rest of her team is just falling behind so far. Zhonya's being finally finished by Morgana here, as well as those Sork boots. Ancient Coin just still sitting there, hasn't been upgraded to Medallion, and just it doesn't look too well for her.
I don't know. I think what her most priority is. Oh, we actually.
Ooh, but they are going to be going on. They get a good chunk of damage. The flash is actually being used here. Yorick going over the wall, but damage is on to him, and he's in a very, very dangerous position. It looks like Renekton has sights now set for Varus, who is also in the same position, but Zinzao is just going to be hopping to a goal. Things aren't looking as bright as they could be with this team comp. I just don't feel like they're playing it as well and surefire as they need to.
Indeed. I kind of am a little suspicious with blue team's comp, especially since the fact that they're supposed to, I find, are a group comp. They have to group up, but they're separating each other, and we see that happening right now with Varus trying to clear bot lane. They're in their jungle.
And Zinzao is just going to be hitting onto him, gets the knock-up, MF coming in with a good amount of damage, and LeBlanc is going to, actually, MF picking it up, a good pickup, because that's who needs kills right now. But in this mid lane, Renekton having to force ult here, as Yorick and Taric both come down onto him. Ignite was used, and Yorick just picking up more kills, man. 8-5. That's all I have to say, and he does have that Muramata now, so that upgrade is just going to be devastating.
Yeah, indeed. I think he's actually possibly going for GA since he has a Negatron cloak and a chain vest. I'm not sure though. He is sitting on 1.6k.
And there's a GA right as you say it. And Varus has one too, so that's like now more parts of the team that are unkillable on top of Yorick's ult. So this is just, I think this is what their goal plan was, is to just get those GAs rolling and just let the team fights happen. So when that does go for the pop, they do get the Oracle. A champion does come back up, and you're just sitting at 6v6 like 5 intervals the entire fight.
Yeah, and also on top of that, I just quickly want to point out before anything else crazy happens, Fizz's build. He has a Rylai's, an Abyssal Scepter, a Seeker's Arm Guard.
Oh, but the fight is on. LeBlanc having to force over the wall is going to be the first target, and has to be falling. She's going for the flash, but the red buff is ticking. very terribly. Red buff actually now picked up by Yurik. He did take the damage, but oh my gosh, so the Blight is just stacking left and right. A good piercing arrow is gonna make sure a lot of people are just in a very, very vulnerable position. And now Renekton can't even defend this tower despite him being at almost full health. This is just a very, very terrible spot to be in.
Ooh, it was a very nice collision there. What happened there was Morgana went to go sacrifice herself while she saw LeBlanc getting kind of destroyed there. And LeBlanc ended up being slowed just enough by red buff for York being able to pick her up with his ghoul of lifesteal, I like to call it. And then when Morgana got out, there was Xin Zhao and Miss Fortune in the mix there. They were in the middle. And then all of a sudden Wukong decided to come in and cyclone all of them up in the air. We saw the fish go down as well, but the fish missed people. So even though he missed the fish, they were a lot of damage as a team.
Oh, but they are going straight on to Renekton. He's gonna have to double dash out. Flashes are being used as oh my gosh. Right now he's just being chucked, and actually being used both there were the Iron Solari for that shield, as well as the Talisman of Ascension, making sure that they got out safe and sound. They don't have all of the wards, they didn't know necessarily where they were, but they're doing a good job at making sure that they escape and making sure they're not being caught out, unlike what purple team's playing right now. And top actually tower going down.
It's gonna be a little hard with that inhib down. We see a blue and ping going towards Dragon. Well, Miss Fortune is actually going for the gold down bot lane. They might possibly collapse on Miss Fortune. We do see blue pings going down towards where Miss Fortune is. You see Wukong focusing on the Dragon while everybody else is going towards the Miss Fortune. She uses her ult to clear the wave, and I think she's going to be able to escape with the help of her passive.
She will, but not with them picking up blue buff. Not blue buff. They don't even need to worry about buffs at this point. Going for that dragon. So that's something they need to worry about, because right now Purple has wards out, but they're very, very deep in their own jungle and not necessarily too hyper aggressive on the enemy team, with the exception of the ones that MF can put out. But they are just going straight onto Morgana. She does have her shield up. She is going to be forcing her own flash here, as well as sending out the binding, finally hitting somebody, but they're just in the worst position possible, and I think it has a lot to do with that pick, because it doesn't offer much to teams if you're not building for a team.
Exactly, and plus on top of that, I find that purple team's looking for fights, but they have a LeBlanc, they have a Xin Zhao, they have a Renekton. They have the Morgana. They gotta go for Ketchos. They can't go for those team fights, especially since there's a Wukong there. You got Varus. You have Fizz.
But this is going to be a collapsing fight. Flash is out. The Cyclone is down, as well as the Randuin's pop. His Banshee shield is going to be devastatingly gone at this point. But Morgana getting good lockdown on 3/4 of all of the champions using her ult. However, she is just going to be falling. Her shield not doing much. And for all this is worth, Renekton picks up 1. So that is 1 for almost an entire team, so that's 1 for 4. The stun is on Renekton. They could just take the base right now if they wanted to. The closest death timer they have up right now is at 21 seconds. It is that MF. She isn't able to do much, and they're just gonna go for hitting these towers. It's a good idea because they can do it. There's nothing telling them that they can't, other than Renekton occasionally landing a stun, but in return they're just gonna keep locking him down left and right. So if they want to, they could end it outright right now.
And that's what they're probably going to do right now. We do see a little bit of contest. The Nexus does go down in the end though. Alligator always alone by himself. He was not able to, and the win goes to blue team here.
Yeah, DYFD picking up the kill versus First Blood Carrier. In a sad amount of events, I just feel like the Morgana pick just wasn't where they needed to be in terms of supports, because you can't rush the big items, and you can't let items like Ancient Coin just sit there and be Ancient Coin for 37 minutes, almost 38 minutes, because you're not helping the team at that point. At that point, you are just sitting on an item that's only giving you gold to build up other things that you're not using as well as you would like to. And I don't even remember seeing her use the Zhonya's at any point. and it fell off terribly. And a good pickup in Tarek, they made sure to get those stuns, they made sure to get those buffs off, and they just did tremendously well with that Yorick pick, ending at 10-5.
Yeah, as I was saying before, I don't think that Purple Team played out their comp as best as they could. Again, their team comp I found was more around picking out people, not going for team fights. That was more of Blue Team's comp with the Wukong ult, Fizz's ult, Varus's ult, all their ults combined, synced together, was very well meant for team fights. More like I was saying before, Purple Team was for catchouts. And I just find Purple Team wasn't able to play out their team comp like they were supposed to in that kind of situation.
Exactly. And another thing that I noticed is that MF got stumped really early. She only ended with 174 farm, and that again, these are situations where the carries were just very, very lackluster and not doing what they needed to do. And MF was always in that position. She was either caught out or all the way in the back line not being able to do anything.
Yeah, again, I feel like that might have been because she was aggressing, or her and Morgana were kind of being a little too aggressive. I think they should have maybe possibly let the lane push out a little more, because Varus I find is more of a passive kind of AD carry. He relies based on farming until he's 6 so he can catch them out with his ult. Same thing with Taric. Taric has that bit of skill jump when he reaches 6. So again, I believe that Purple Team not being able to play out their champs the way they're supposed to, well, they did play their champs the way they were supposed to, but they didn't play to the full potential they could have.
So that was a good game. DYFD picking up the kill. Again, I'm Rainbow Sasha. This is Sword of Fighting, and the next game will be in just a few seconds. So stay tuned. And again, grandparents, invite them. They like shiny objects, and League is pretty shiny. I'm signing off for the night. Night, guys.
Night, guys. See you later, and enjoy the rest of the tourney.